One of the questions we get asked the most about is time management. How do I find the time to make more art?
In this video, we will share with you some of the tips that have worked for us over the years that have allowed us to consistently make more art.
Now be sure to subscribe and follow us for more small business tips for the creative entrepreneur. And if you find these tips helpful, let us know by leaving a comment. We love hearing from our fellow artists, makers, and entrepreneurs.
I'm Scarlett Pons. I'm a potter and the owner of Scarlett Wares, where I design and make ceramic items for the home.
And I'm Gabriel Pons. I'm a painter and muralist. Together we own Pawn Shop Studio. We don't buy gold or guns, we
We
sell
sell
art.
art.
Now, through our storefront, we carry the work of emerging creatives who are embarking on their journey as full-time artists.
Now let's get started. As makers and artists, there never seems to be enough time to make all the amazing artwork that is buzzing around our head. We are holding down a full-time job. Whether you're holding down a full-time job or working on your craft at night and on the weekends, or you're a new parent and balancing your art around family and kids, or you're a full-time artist and the business side is slowly eating into your creative time. No matter what stage you're in, you will always need to find that balance between having enough time to make your work, grow the business, and live a healthy life. So let's start with assessing your time.
Now, we all waste time, daily or weekly, because we're binging our favorite shows or having unproductive weekends. First, let's make it clear that it's crucial that you commit to making art consistently. The only way to grow your craft is to work at it every day, and oftentimes as artists, we only get paid when we make new work. So how do you ensure that you're setting time aside for your art?
That's a good question. Let's start by breaking down your day and week to find where you can carve out your creative time. This is about discipline and committing to the time you have. I want you every week to start asking this question. What time of day or day during the week can you commit to your creative table or studio?
Now, for example, over the past couple of years, I found that Mondays are the most productive for me creatively. I'm better rested and recharged from the weekend, and I've carved out that day to methodically lay out my week's schedule and dig into my artwork. Now, in contrast to 15 years ago, I now work primarily during the day.
And you're not burning the midnight oil anymore, Gabe, which typically wiped you out by the end of the week.
Yeah, thank you. My advice to you is to find those windows of time in your week where you can dedicate to your artwork and stick to it. Once you figure out what works best for you, communicate your schedule to your family and friends. Let them know how important this time is for you. At the end of this video, we're going to share the most important tip because you are in this for the long haul, and we want you to have a life filled with making beautiful things.
Now, once you commit to a creative schedule, let's now set some realistic goals for creating art. Now, when I was just starting out as a working artist, I was also a new mom, and I quickly realized that my time was rigid and restrictive because I was working around our kids' schedules, and I had to change what I made and how I made it in clay. Now, my goal then was to make one new piece a month. Sometimes I made more, sometimes just that one piece. And it doesn't sound like much, but this realistic goal made me feel like I was moving forward.
It's true. She developed new skills and continued to sell.
Thank you, Gabe. And I also kept growing my audience, and I felt good about that. Since I was focused on one ceramic piece a month, I decided to make that piece worth it. I was making higher end, more expensive items because my schedule did not allow me to do quantity. It was a great way for me to showcase my talent and to make some good sales.
Now, whatever larger goal you have, it'll take many steps to get there. What can you do today and this week to keep yourself moving forward?
And to that point of being realistic, I advise you to begin by timing yourself in the studio. Now, one of the most common questions we get asked as artists all the time is how long did it take you to make that? Now, if you really want to dig into measuring your studio time, then keep a journal of how long you're spending on each piece.
Now, trust me, these numbers don't lie, and you'll be better able to understand your productivity and all the factors that can affect making your artwork. Understanding how much time it takes you to make something will help you stay realistic about what can be accomplished. And this one was a big step for me when I started doing mural work. Only until I started keeping a journal of the hours I spent could I confidently give estimates on larger projects without feeling like I was shooting from the hip.
For me as a new mom, I only had nap times to work. So I timed every step. So I knew exactly what I could do in a 2, 3 hour session. And even though we have teenagers now, we both still consistently measure our time. So this is our most important tip for you, and that is live healthy. We have talked to so many people over the years who have told us that they no longer make art. They've given up their dreams of pursuing a creative life.
And we are encouraging you to design a lifestyle that will keep you in the studio. You're committing to a schedule, you're setting realistic goals based on an actual measure, your
Your
time,
time.
and understanding how long it takes to make something. All of this, coupled with the attitude that slow and steady wins the race, will ensure that you will not burn out and won't stop making because of fatigue.
Yes. And many of us find ourselves wanting to pursue our art because we're looking for freedom to spend our time working on things that we love and to also have more time with family and friends.
You are a work in progress, and by setting realistic goals, understanding how to manage your time will help get you there. Remember, this is not something that you perform once, but it is a monthly practice for each goal and project.
And finally, be kind to yourself. None of this is easy. It will be a struggle, but your mental and physical health are both important. Realize that you're in this for the long haul and you will get better.
Finally, we want to hear from you. Please comment if you have any tips on managing your time and setting up some creative goals.
Stay creative. Don't give up. The world needs more artists.